So, obstacles are there to help. Now, let's just pause here and talk about this a little. How many of us can actually think of an obstacle in our life right now and actually believe that it's there to help me? You can? Yeah, you can. You can. For most of us, we are so overwhelmed with the difficulty that the obstacle puts in our way that we can't believe that it can be for our good, right? Why can't we believe that it can be for our good? Any answers?
It's not comfortable. The problem is that the moment you're saying an obstacle, when it's presented to us, it's somewhat bitter to taste. Like when you're experiencing it,
Louder.
It's very bitter. It's a very bitter experience. So it's something that makes you feel very uncomfortable. Usually an obstacle will not be something that makes you feel comfortable and happy. It makes you face yourself in a way wherein you're not comfortable with what you see. It's like a mirror to your defects.
Very good. The obstacle is a mirror to your defects because they say that when you squeeze an orange juice comes out, when you squeeze a mango juice comes out, when I squeeze Nash juice will come out, when I squeeze Pratna juice will come out. Nash juice may be anger, Pratna juice may be fear, somebody else's juice may be grief. So whenever obstacles come our way, it's like life is squeezing us and what's inside us comes out. So Nash said a very wonderful thing. Obstacles are a mirror. They show to us what our defects are. Somebody has beautifully said, if you want to see how conscious a person is, see how the person reacts in difficult moments. Because that difficult moment squeezes the person, and depending on his level of consciousness, the reaction or the response will come out, right? So obstacles are there as a mirror to show you what's inside you. And it's okay to see that there's not so good stuff inside me, but it's beautiful to know that I can change it. I can change anything I want in me. That's the power I have as a birthright by virtue of being a human being. I can shift anything in me if I turn to the grace which I am. Grace is not only outside, but each one of us is grace, but we don't know it and we don't recognize it. Yeah?
Also, we say an obstacle is always opposite to our comfort zone.
An obstacle pushes you out of your comfort zone and you don't like it. So they say that pain can either make you bitter or better, right? So eventually it's designed to make you better, but for a while, if you react to it unconsciously, you will become bitter and bitter and bitter till you reach a point where you can't live with it. Then you look for another way out. But instead of going through that whole cycle, why not change it the moment it comes? So how do we deal with it? We've all dealt with times when we are down, when we are anxious. So if we had to formulate step by step, what would we do? Suppose something, you get a news which really startles you, threatens your safety, makes you feel uncomfortable. What do you do? What's your first reaction? Yeah?
Suspended judgment. I like this term I read somewhere. The moment something happens, the first thing we do is a rapid judgment.
Very good.
So suspend all judgments at that moment.
Very good.
Do not start judging the situation.
Very good. In fact, beautiful that you said that. These are mother's words. They come later. Sri Aurobindo's words. Okay? On suspended judgment. You have to develop the power and the habit of taking refuge in the protection of the mother and myself. It is for this reason that the habit of criticizing and judging by the outer mind or cherishing its preconceived ideas and formations must disappear. This is what he's saying, that Suspended judgment, well, it's difficult to suspend judgment in a limbo unless you're a spiritual giant. But if you suspend judgment into the faith that whether it seem good or evil to men's eyes, only for good the secret will can work. That I'll never be given more pain than what's good for my growth. So if something goes wrong in your life, instead of trying to fix the outside, first let me fix my reaction inside. That's the first step. Instead of turning violently on the outside, picking up phone, bad mouthing, trying to make the person see you're wrong, let me first see when I've been squeezed, what has come out of me. What is my unique juice that has come out of me when I've been squeezed? And then that juice will create a whole narrative in my head. But that narrative will seldom be true. Look back and see. When you've got bad news about something and you've built a whole story, how often has that story been true? How often? Has it been true often? No, right? Very often you think, my God, what a trip I was going on. It wasn't at all like that in the person's mind, or it wasn't so much like that in the person's mind, right? So firstly, don't believe the story your mind makes up about it, because it's not real. It's your imagination, it's your past conditioning. So that is what it means to suspend judgment and instead turn to faith. That if I've been taken to it, I'll be taken through it. That there is a purpose to everything. That if this obstacle has been put in my path, I'm like that tadpole. I'm meant to leap. Only then I'll become a frog. I'll never grow spiritually if I don't stretch myself.